Hey family, how you guys doing? Welcome to Phie.Love Intuitive Conversations. I hope you guys are good and keeping healthy mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. If you like my content, please do like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any negativity or hate, keep it on your side of the street. You will not be acknowledged and your comments will not be acknowledged, okay? We're here to heal, build, reflect, come together, and just do our shadow work and find a way to strengthen ourselves, move ahead in our perceptions of life, make our own decisions, and become less dependent on people, places, things, whatever it is around us, and try and become aware of the illusions and things in our lives that, you know, we get stuck in and tend to think are normal because it's what everyone else out there is saying is normal, right? Anyway, for this video, sorry, I was just trying to hear something outside. For this video, I am being guided to get into how well do you really think you know the person that you're with? Now, I'm not trying to get anybody paranoid in their relationships. I'm not trying to, you know, encourage anyone to leave who they're with. No, I'm here to just get people to consider new perspectives and maybe consider certain things that we don't consider because of what our minds, our psyches, basically everything that we get bombarded with from the outside to program us a certain way, to get us to think a certain way, to behave certain ways, to operate in our relationships a certain way, to view people a certain way, to expect out of the next person a certain way. You know, all of these things have an influence on how we choose to judge the next person. And also, since we know a lot of these things create the expectations around certain situations, relationships, and things, our behaviors and how we interact with others also is molded in that way. So with that being said, I think it is really fair to say, how well do you think you know the person that you're with? Phie, what are you saying? What is this thing that you're saying? Well, I'll go briefly into my most recent past experience of a relationship and touch on a specific aspect where after the fact I realized that, you know, from the beginning, all my motivating factors, the things that helped me make my decision to bring a person into my life, to make a person a permanent fixture in my life, to share my life with, you know, it really pushed me to go into deep evaluation about the kinds of things that pushed me or that made me feel like, okay, this is somebody I should be with. What were the emotions that I got into? What were the kinds of perceptions I held that influenced me to continue moving in that direction? What were my friends around me saying? What were my insecurities like? What was the pain that I had inside myself that I hadn't worked out yet? what was that like, and what about that was that person distracting me from? What about the pain that he knew about inside me? Did I not realize in my being vulnerable made me very open and available to be manipulated? And what about that pain or that unhealed space that I was operating out of opened me up to attracting someone like him or like that into my life? Okay, because at the end of it, when I looked back, I realized that I nursed the snake that bit me. Okay, I hope that will make sense to some people. I nursed the snake that bit me. Because I didn't want to recognize that he was a snake. Because I was judging him. I was taking him in. I was interpreting everything about him through the eyes of my insecurities, through the eyes of my pain, through the eyes of what I thought the outside world expected. I interpreted him with the eyes of somebody who made me feel good. And all of that made me completely blind to the fact that I ended up with someone who mirrored me perfectly, who got to know, made me vulnerable, got to know all my weak spots, and was really skilled at using those against me, because I am an empath, and at the time, I wasn't as attuned to things in the way that the traumatic experiences I went through had trained me into being attuned, so that I know how to gauge these things a bit better in my future. So you see, I'm not saying that I curse everything bad that I went through, because it's made me stronger. It's put me into a place of higher self-worth. But I do also recognize that I wasn't ready to be with somebody. I shouldn't have attached myself to somebody. My perception of relationships, my perception of myself, my perception of my pain, what I had come from before him, wasn't healed. My heartache was pacified through him. And to top it off, he was someone like many other people out there who were deeply, deeply, deeply programmed by the workings of society and the systems and everything else, not actually operating from his true authentic self, but because he sort of checked a lot of the boxes that society deems is what someone should come to the table with, when really he was just really, really good at selling himself. Among other things that I guess maybe in the future will come out in other conversations we have. We'll see. But yeah, I at the end of it realized that I didn't know who I was with. I lived with him, I fed him, I did everything. And I thought that the person I slept next to was someone that I knew was, you know, was what I should be with. But I refused to recognize that the flags were all there, you know. We get so caught up in having our own inner feelings and our pain from our unhealed parts and our pains from the past soothed and pacified, and you know, having our minds distracted from all of it, that we tend not to really take the red flags very seriously. And just to mention a few, there were red flags from the beginning, you know. Simple things like him changing the way he behaves around different kinds of people. You know, around friends, he was one way. Around me, he was one way. Around his family, he was another way. And the conversations, the way he'd act, or whatever it might be, even respond to me or handle me, you know, things were different. And I didn't take those things seriously. And not taking certain things seriously in the beginning hugely impacted what I tolerated throughout the duration of the relationship. And the deeper you fall, the more bullshit you tolerate when really you shouldn't. And the deeper you fall, the less attention you put towards your self-worth and how you genuinely should be respected and treated. Understand that respect is just the minimum. And we can't expect people who are unhealed, people who don't even carry their own identities, but carry the identity of the world on the outside that molds them into what they believe they would be accepted by their society into. That's nothing real and authentic to exist in. That's nothing solid. And we can't expect somebody who doesn't know themselves to know us. How do you expect someone who can't recognize themselves but has to have the reassurance of the outside? How do you expect them to authentically give that to you and to actually understand you and mean it? We live in a world where everybody's mirroring some, or imitating, or, you know, adjusting themselves to some standard on the outside. And that's how they operate in their relationships. It's the outside standard that they try to fulfill within relationships. So what does that really say about the people we find ourselves existing with? Do we really know who we sleep next to? Do we know who we give our energy to? Do we know who we feed every day? Do we know who we share ourselves with? Do we know who we allow in? Do we know who we're giving all the rope to manipulate us into, you know, keeping them afloat and keeping them secure? In whatever way, shape, or form that they need you there to feel secure. Are you secure in yourself? Do you know yourself enough to know the next person? Or are you just with somebody because of your idea of being lonely, your fear of being lonely? because having somebody in your life gives you the illusion that you're not excluded from the rest of the world. Because you'd rather be miserable with someone next to you who's occupying your mind space and your time and giving you something to bitch and moan and fight about than actually being on your own and working on yourself and giving yourself and your inner child a fair chance at growing and achieving and fulfilling your dreams that you could possibly fulfill for your life without having to always shed your energy towards somebody else. That requires you to meet a certain standard, that requires them to meet a certain standard, you know. Do you pay attention to what kinds of things are influencing the person that you're with? Or are they just seemingly influenced by the same things that you are? Are you someone's crutch without even knowing it? How well do you know the person that you're with? Oh man, I could go and go and go on with this. Like, there's so much I want to say. But I think I'll leave it there for now. I'm already on 16 minutes. And yeah, I'm just saying, consider it a little bit. Something to think about. Consider it a bit and engage your inner voice. Take some time to really look at the person you live with every single day who is next to you and ask yourself, who the fuck is this person actually? Are you secure in your illusion of them and what's become comfortable in your mind to accept and take in, and the fact that you just know their ways and you know their habits? Or do you actually genuinely know who they are? Are they what you want to see, what you think you want to know? And what version of yourself are you putting out in front of them? Are you yourself? Are you authentic? Or have you adjusted yourself so much that you've just sort of gone onto autopilot and not recognized that this person you're with every single day actually doesn't give a fuck or know really the last thing about you? Because you grow, right? I hope you change, right? Are you suppressing your growth and change because you're worried that the person you're with, who you don't really know or possibly don't really know, might feel threatened by your growth and change? Are you threatened by their growth and change? Do they grow? Do they change? Have they grown? Have they changed? Are they still the same person that you met? And if they are, is that concerning to you or not so much? Something to think about, right? I, for one, would like to, if I do in the future end up with somebody, however, I'm not into any of that at the moment, but if I do, I would like to be with somebody who takes their personal growth into high consideration and makes it a really big priority in their lives. Definitely. I'd be worried if I was with someone who just wanted to stay the same, or who portrays that towards me and shows something different out to the world. I vowed to never be that person again who allows my past pain to take my mind and my attention and my awareness away from the things that actually make someone a person and make someone human, and not how well they fit the checklist of society as to an upstanding partner or human being. No. But again, like I said, there's so much to get into. I'm on 20 minutes. I'm going to pull a card from Ascendant Masters and call it, okay? The card that came out is Detached from Drama. Maybe this is for someone who is finding themselves in dramatic situations. I don't know. Let's see what the book has to say. Oh, it's the dog. Let's see what the book has to say regarding detaching from drama. And the Ascendant Master here is Pallas Athena. Okay. Let's see. The book says, you've been drawn into the upsetting world of human egos by focusing upon drama. Although it's nothing more than a story, the drama feels frightening to you. This card comes to you as a helping hand in fighting your way out of the story by detaching from the drama. Don't get pulled into the various plots, twists, turns, and characters of the drama. Instead, view it as a movie that you know will have a happy or at least resolved ending. Of course, you'll have compassion for everyone involved, yet you don't have to let drama pull you down in any way. As you focus upon the positive, you bring about a positive resolution. Additional meanings for this card: let go of attempts to make everyone happy. Allow others to make their own choices in life. Don't delay your life's purpose by focusing upon other people's issues. Avoid gossiping about or judging others. So yeah, bam bam, that was the card. And in your time of reflection, trying to maybe ask yourself, who are you existing with, and do you really know who the person is that you're with? Don't get into drama, okay? Use that as a time of your own personal reflection. Use that as time for yourself to recognize if the mind space you were in back then when you got into a situation that you're in now still serves you and the situation that you're in at the present moment, and if you have evolved, changed, and grown, or maybe need to, change your situation, move out of your situation, change something about yourself, or recognize that something about yourself has changed and evolved. There's many things, because you should be changing, you should be growing, you should be evolving. And sometimes the state we were in when certain people came into our lives is not the same state that we're in 2, 3, 4 years later, okay? And that definitely has a very big impact and should change our perception of many things and how we relate and choose to exist in certain situations. I'm just saying, don't go looking for any drama. Self-reflect, grow, and if changes need to be made, make your decisions in an orderly manner, in an orderly fashion that considers all people involved, okay? I hope that you guys are resonating with this video, and if you haven't hit the like, share, and subscribe button, please do so on your way out, okay? It doesn't cost a thing. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.